Well, it's finally coming to Australia, the second generation MG ZS EV. Stay with us and we'll tell you how much it's going to cost and when they are available. Welcome to Electric Car Australia and some exciting news this evening. MG Australia has just announced that they'll be bringing the second generation MG ZS EV to Australia. And that's great news because the first generation MG ZS EV that went on sale here in Australia in late 2020 was a sensational success. It was the second most popular EV in Australia behind the Tesla Model 3. And we personally bought one of those vehicles and we've been very happy with it. You can have a look in our channel and you'll see numerous videos that we've done on that. But tonight we're going to talk about the second generation car. So look, MG have just released on their website here in Australia the pre-sale for that, so you can log on and register your expression of interest. They'll be taking orders very shortly. There's a $500 deposit you'll need to pay, and if you do that and you're one of the first 500 people to register and pay your deposit, you'll also get a $500 discount towards a home charging centre. So look, the little marketing spiel that MG have on their website this evening, they're introducing the refreshed MG ZS EV, and they're saying it's a stylish, comfortable, intelligent and 100% electric mid-sized SUV. So look, those 3 points there, it's got a better battery than the current generation 1 vehicle. It's got some better tech in it, and we'll talk about that shortly, and also LED headlights and taillights, which, you know, they are a step up. There's two grades they're bringing to Australia, the Excite and the Essence. We'll talk more about those shortly and we'll compare those against the UK models, and we'll make a few assumptions and we'll look at some different battery sizes there as well, because I've got my fingers crossed they will be bringing 2 battery sizes to Australia, although that obviously isn't confirmed at this stage. Now look, if you've seen our last video, we'll include a link to that up above. That was the launch of the BYD Atto 3 in Australia, and I think this second generation ZS EV is a pretty close comparison to that vehicle, and very interesting that MG Australia has pitched the price the same as well. And again, we'll talk about the starting prices shortly. So as we mentioned, if you register your interest now and you're one of those first 500 customers, they'll also give you a $500 discount off what they're calling the MG Charge Hub, and that's an MG branded home charger. Look, we'll also include a video link up above to a video we done looking at whether you actually need a home charger or whether you can get away with the 10 or 15 amp granny chargers. So by all means, if you're thinking about buying an EV, have a look at that video because you may not need to spend that extra $1,000 or $2,000 to get a home charger. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to flick through some of the website screenshots that MG's got up on the website this evening here in Australia. And what I've done, I've put them in order of, I guess, priority that I personally, from a practical sort of perspective, already being an owner of the first generation ZS, these are the order of priorities that I see the new benefits and features being on the car. So for me, the improved battery pack is a big one. So I'd say that's one of my top benefits over the older model. Now, these new batteries, there's a couple of different sizes, and again, we'll talk about those a little bit later when we look at the pricing, because we can make some direct comparisons against the pricing. But interestingly, MG has only mentioned the, or a single battery at 320 kilometres. So look, I'm thinking that is the smaller battery pack. So again, it'll be interesting whether they release it, they're bringing the 2 packs in, and we'll look at that shortly. But realistically, real world range, that's about 290 to 300 kilometres. So that's not bad. It's about 40 or 50 kilometres better than the current one. Although, as most of you will know, if you know anything about EVs, range really does have a lot to do with how you drive it and also the conditions. But that gives you a rough idea. I'd say about 300 kilometres real world range. And keep in mind that MG have done a joint venture with CATL, Cattle, and they're the world's largest manufacturer of EV batteries. So yeah, you can rest assured that the batteries that are in these cars are pretty good stuff, and we'll talk about the warranties later on the batteries. But yeah, it's pretty impressive warranty on the battery. So if that is something that concerns you, yeah, I think they've got that well covered with this vehicle. Okay, here's my second highest preference, I guess, for the upgrade on this car is the touchscreen. The software and touchscreen in the current vehicle is quite laggy and sometimes non-responsive. You might have to press it a few times. The touchscreen just doesn't seem to pick it up. So they've got a new 10.1 inch. Sorry, let's start that again. A 10.1 inch touchscreen. Now they're calling this a floating screen. So what they're meaning is that this is actually sitting out from the dash like a separate sort of iPad-y type thing, whereas the current one is built into the dash like the old school sort of sound systems, etc. So that is definitely an improvement. It's supposed to be a lot sharper, crisper. It's also larger, obviously. It's got a better viewing angle, less reflection, and also it doesn't show finger marks as much. So all those things that I've just mentioned are a bit of an issue with the first generation. Not a showstopper, but this will definitely be an improvement. The next one's the virtual cluster. Now I was tossing up whether I put that much emphasis on this one, but I think it is an improvement over the two analog gauges that are in the current generation 1 model, and it also provides some more information. So yeah, I think it's a valuable upgrade, and haven't personally seen the car as yet, but talking to people in the UK, which is another right-hand drive market like us, they say that that display is quite sharp and is definitely an improvement. So this is my next one, towing. Now the current ZS, while you can put or I shouldn't say that, while it is possible to fit a tow bar on the electric ZS, it's not actually legal here in Australia, but this new vehicle coming in, I believe it will be, given by this pictures and graphics that they've released here. So it has got the ability to tow. It is only a 500 kilo towing capacity, and I'm assuming that that's braked or unbraked, but it's good to know. Can take 500 kilos, so you'll be able to put the jet ski or the little box trailer to run around and do your gardening. So a definite improvement over the first generation. Now there's a bit of an upgrade with the entertainment, and also in the UK there's a lot of different models with different connectivity. The Aussie website hasn't gone into any of that detail yet, so that might be information to come. But at the moment, they've obviously got the integrated Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You will notice though that it is still connected via a lead. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. It's not wireless connection. However, you can buy aftermarket wireless connection devices on Amazon, eBay, that sort of stuff. So if you did want that capability for a reasonable price, you could buy one of those additional bits and pieces. Now keep in mind, we've done 2 separate videos doing desktop reviews of this car from all the marketing material that was available in the UK, and also talking to other YouTubers overseas and some forums I'm a part of. So if you want to check those out, we've got video 1, and then we also do a follow-up video. So we'll include a link to video 1 above, and I'll remind you about video 2 a little later. But look, the next thing that I think is good on the new model is they have improved the design a little bit, particularly the front end. So obviously includes the LED headlights now, but you do actually have a filled-in dash. So unlike the current generation 1 vehicle, it has the open dash which collects or lets the air through, similar to the petrol model. And you've got the little filled-in center of the grille with the rather annoying push in and come up charge flap. So again, you would have heard lots of people talking about that. It wasn't the best design originally. The guys have fixed that now. They've moved the charge port to the left-hand side of the grille, so it's not dead center. The reason for that is there's a camera in the front now, which wasn't in the current model. So they've put a camera, located that in the center of the grille, put the charge port to the side, and they've actually got a side opening charge flap now, which is fantastic. And they've done away with the rubber bungs, which were also a little annoying. You used to have to manually pull those out before you could plug your charger in. But now you've got a seal around that, and you've also got a charge indicator in there to give you a little bit of an indication of the state of charge of your battery, and that's right at the front where you plug your charge cable in. So again, really handy. None of that was on the current model. Now, the other thing I should mention that hasn't been displayed in an Australian website yet is the vehicle to load adapter. Now, this model vehicle is capable of vehicle to load. We're told about 2000 watts or 2200 watts. So that means, you know, you could run some basic appliances in your house in a power outage or an emergency, flooding as we've recently had here, pretty much all down the East Coast. So if you're offline, you can plug your pressure cleaner in to help you clean up a little bit. You can plug your fridges in to keep the food going. Plug your internet in. So basically anywhere you don't have electricity, this vehicle will be able to provide that AC capability. Now look, the website also mentions a stylish interior upgrade. I don't think there's a lot to this. There's some changes in some stitching. They're also talking about some carbon fibre look type stuff. It'll probably look okay when we see it in the flesh, but personally I don't see a problem with the current version. And look, I'll mention the second video of our review of this new Generation 2 ZS EV, so we'll include a link above. But what I should have also mentioned, when they imported the first generation into Australia, they only brought in the highest spec car. So that was the one that had the seat heaters, it had the sunroof, and it had all the adaptive cruise control, semi-autonomous driving, all that stuff that they call MG Pilot. Interestingly, this time they're bringing in the 2 models, and we'll talk a bit more about that again when we look at the price. So let's talk warranty. Now I know when the Atto 3 launched a couple of weeks ago and we've done the video on that, there was a little bit of talk around the warranty and what it meant. Some people said it looked a little bit short, it was limited by kilometres. But you'll notice here with the MG1, and this is a carryover from the first generation as well, quite impressed with the MG warranties. We've got a 7-year unlimited warranty on the battery. Now that's a big comfort, I guess, to EV owners, and especially people that are a little bit worried about, you know, the cost of the battery, if it needs to be replaced, etc. So that gives you some good comfort there, that you've got a 7-year unlimited warranty to the first owner. And also you've got a 7-year body and vehicle warranty as well. So that's quite standard in the market today. So yep, ticks to MG there for their warranties. So the part you guys have all been waiting for, to get into a bit more detail on the price. Now look, this screenshot there is from the UK website. So these pricing hasn't been confirmed by Australia, and we don't know the breakdown, etc., except for that first shot that I put up when we first started the video. So what we're looking at here is that the MG ZS EV in the UK comes in 2 model versions, what they call the SE and the Trophy. So here in Australia, we're assuming that they're calling the SE the Excite and the Trophy the Essence. So it will be interesting to see what they do with those models, because in the UK you can get either model with a standard capacity battery, which is 51 kilowatts, or a 73 kilowatt hour battery. Now it appears here in Australia that pricing they've provided, along with the range that they've mentioned, 320 kilometres WLTP, that appears like it's the 51 kilowatt hour battery. So that's a slight upgrade to the current model, which is 44 kilowatt hours. That's the vehicle that we own. So it will be interesting to see whether MG Australia confirm that they're going to bring in the long range model, which is a 73 kilowatt hour battery. Because at the moment, it does just look like from the website that both models will have the 51 kilowatt hour battery. So the current model, or the Generation 1 they brought into Australia, that was the top of the range model. So we're looking at the comparison there with the Trophy. So we're assuming that the Essence model, that they're calling it now in Australia, will have 360-degree parking cameras, wireless phone charging, leather style upholstery, don't know what that means, heated front seats, and a panoramic sky roof. So all those things they just mentioned, the current generation car has, except for wireless phone charging and 360 parking cameras. So the base model, which we didn't previously have in Australia, they mentioned it has MG pilots, has the 10.1-inch touchscreen, has iSmart user app, has fabric upholstery, and the full digital information display. So the cheaper model doesn't have some of those higher level specs. But as I said, it looks like both models will only have the smaller battery. So let's have a look at the difference of the price of the vehicles in the UK with the different size batteries. So if you get the base model SE and you want to get the long range battery added to that, that'll cost you about an extra £2,000, which in Australian dollars converts to around $3,500 at March 2022 exchange rates. So that's the base model. With the upgraded long range battery, you're paying about an extra $3,500. If you want to get the Trophy model, which is the top of the range model car, and you want to put the long range battery in that car, interestingly, the price of that battery jumps to £3,500 or around $6,200. So I'm not sure whether you're getting anything extra for your money with that top of the range car when you put the bigger battery in. I hope you are, because it's double the price. But at the moment, from what I can just quickly see on the UK website, that's the price difference. So guys, look, I hope you enjoyed that video. It was only a really quick one. I just wanted to bring it to you while the news was hot off the press. We have been engaging with MG Australia for a number of months now, trying to find out when this car was being launched. On the 7th of March here in 2022, we've finally been advised that it is hitting the market and they are starting to take orders. So I guess to wrap it up, it is a serious contender if you're looking for a lower priced EV here in Australia. The BYD Atto 3, which is just launched and they're now taking orders for. As I mentioned, you can check out our previous video on all the details on that one, but this will be a very close comparison to that vehicle. And interestingly, the deliveries of these new MG ZS EVs will start to occur in the third quarter of this year. So that's roughly the same time as the Atto 3s will start hitting Australia, because there's actually no stock of that in the country as we speak. So both these vehicles could actually be on boats from China at the same time and hit the market here. So we're expecting sort of that September, October of 2022. So look, thanks for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon so you're notified of our new videos that are coming up. We've got one in the wings. We've just had a test drive and a look over the Polestar 2 here in Brisbane. So that's exciting, and we're currently in the process of editing that video, and we'll have that one out shortly. And we're also doing a follow-up to our BYD Atto 3 video. And what that is looking into the company that's bringing that to Australia. We've had a few comments about people not knowing this company, and because it's a new company and they're selling online, etc. There was a little bit of concern around who they are, where they've come from, what their background is. So we're doing a follow-up video and we're going to go into all the details of what the company do, who's behind them, the funding they get, and all that sort of stuff. So keep an eye out for that one. Well, that's it, guys. Take care, stay safe, look after your friends and family, and we look forward to talking soon. Cheers.